Vladimir is here with us today, and you may say, just give some
Oh,
feedback.
hi, Vladimir. Great to see you.
Hi, Peter. Hello, everybody. I'm very glad to be with you.
I suppose I don't read much about spiritual stuff nowadays, probably because I feel I've got enough. But I was very interested in the way, well, there were two things. One was the way you talked of different journeys for the hero, and that what we are exposed to is only a single story. And that was really interesting. And also this sense of using analogy of connection as a basis for practical way into spirituality, I suppose. It's almost like I see with understanding, when you understand an idea, it's like as you understand it better, you get more and more threads connecting you, threads of experience connecting you with what you associate with that idea. And that, to me, has a lot in common with the idea of consciousness being about the quality of connection and the type, if you like, the type of connection. So
thank you so much, Peter. Thank you for you understand the essence from interview with Oksana. You know, my first background is science.
Yes.
I graduated Moscow Physical Technological Institute. It was #1 in Soviet Union in the field of hard sciences. And so I am very practical. In a sense, I'm a very realistic oriented guy, despite the fact that I'm also artist, film director, spiritual seeker, and psychologist and psychotherapist, transpersonal psychologist. In every field, I'm first #1. I'm sciences, and I'm very practical. And this is why I am always looking for reality in everywhere. My approach to hero's journey is also based on practical foundation, so to say. I introduced 3 main hero's journey, connected to 3 main realms from primordial time of human history, so to say, from shamanic time, underworld, middle world, and upper world.
Oh, yes.
And
yes.
3 different types, actually, and 3 different maps and sources and meanings and outcomes or results of different heroic journeys. And this is very important distinctions, since if we don't differentiate between those 3 different journeys, we have the tendency to make a fallacy and to reduce the richness and complexity of our life to one-dimensional flat map of who we are and what we are doing in life. And it's awful, since I am sure that this is the real source of media slavery. And all great factories of media like Hollywood, Disneyland, Las Vegas, Bollywood, all TV station, all theaters used this one-dimensional map for human life and human journey, and transmit back to us as human being this limited version of who we are. And this is the source of media slavery. And so my passion is to help humanity to aware and to release from this slavery. And we can do it from through knowledge, through exploration, through scientific approach, and applying this knowledge to our life. Checking, first of all, of course, checking in science based on proofs, on experiments, on personal experience. If we are talking about heroes' journeys, also important, not hero journey, which in case of Joseph Campbell, suppose man journey, but hero's journey, man and woman, children and elders. So everybody has heroism, and heroism is the main energy of human being. it has multiple words, our human cosmos, like mission, meaning of life, passion, values, but all those words are connected to heroism. Heroism, it's the main energy of our life. And so, and this energy has tendency to stream into particular structures of three different structures of different journey: mythical journey, existential journey, and spiritual journey. This was my kind of discovery I want to share with the world.
Vladimir, could you give examples?
For example, Conan the Barbarian with Schwarzenegger is a perfect sample of mythical journey. And it's interesting that this script for this film was written by Jan Oliver Stone, who studied very well world mythology and also Joseph Campbell works. And the sample of existential journey, for example, it's Dostoevsky. Crime and Punishment. It's and the whole philosophy and literature connected to most essential issues of our life. Yeah? And examples of spiritual journey for it's Matrix by Wachowski. Yeah, it's since Neo is a spiritual hero, and it perfectly connects to my understanding. And in some great movies, for example, in Holy Mountain by Alejandro Jodorowsky, we can find all three journeys. Since real genius, real artist goes beyond any rules. So the source of his inspiration and creativity is deep connection with the essence of everything. And so he just expressed his vision, his experience of life. But it's still not quite expanded. And for example, the majority of media is produced on the basement of old-fashioned, limited understanding of what is human life and what is the structure of a heroic journey. So,
what about woman's version?
Peter, you get the essence. So it's very, very, very important for me that since it was short discussion with Oksana, and I wasn't sure that also, despite my not very good English, that I was able to express what I feel, what I know, and that I expressed my knowledge in appropriate way to be understood.
Vladimir, what about woman's version of the journey? Where is the difference? Where does the difference come in?
It's very simple, since according, for example, Gray, famous psychologist, women are from Venus and men are from Mars. It's different planets. And of course, we are living together on one Earth. And we design to create families, connections, and continue human destiny. But also, it's very important that from ancient time, there was dominance of women. There was a long time of matriarchat. And only 8,000 years ago, it's slowly changed to opposite polarity, patriarchat. And only recently it started to go back and balance a kind of integral connection, yeah? Through different extremes, feminism, polyamory, etc., but nevertheless to some harmonic understanding of not just man and woman relation, but human relations, since there is a lot of kind of research, experiment, and understanding about sex, connections, etc.
If you were to make an ideal scenario for the hero's journeys,
I'm working now on this scenario, this screenwrite for my next film. You have links to my first film from Evolution-2 trilogy, The Dance of Infinity and Tools for Evolution. And the third film will be about hero's journey, about 8 main scenarios and missions and destinies and structures of human life. Man and woman version. By the way, there is several very good books about woman version of hero's journey. For example, The Woman Who Runs with Wolves.
Clarissa Pinkola Tess, the woman who...
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. I have the whole folder of electronic version of books about hero's journey. I am studying, preparing to third film and for a real scenario. Great book by Joseph Campbell about goddess.
Goddess.
Also, very interesting book by Maureen Murdoch. Let me show you Hero's Journey.
Yes, we can see it. Yeah.
Yes, from girl to goddess. I can find English version of Joseph Campbell book about goddess. It's also a very important source for understanding hero's journey, heroine journey. But also there is a lot of psychological research about difference of man and woman development, including spiritual development, psychological development, artistic development, how they are different and what they have in common. So it's very, very interesting field.
What would be the main difference between, or the most exciting difference, the key between man and woman, besides being able to produce children?
Men used to take care about direction, result, goal, and women about connection, communication, atmosphere, spirits. It's confirmed by many research, including child psychology. It started to differentiate from age of 5 years, actually.
Vladimir, I know you mentioned something in your other lecture about mirror neurons in our brain, and there was something about them which is different for women.
Yeah, the main difference is that women have several times more mirror neurons in brain than men. And so the personal neurological copy, brain copy of reality is more correct, more detailed. And this is why they are so skilled in comparison to men with communication, children care, kind of food, nice, good food, atmosphere, design, and many concrete stuff that need more detailed, more realistic picture. But from other side, men used to be more visionary, more directed, more strong in keeping direction, so to say. So it's kind of complement each other.
We know all that. It's like men was supposed to be more like boundaries of the river to keep the river flowing, and the woman is more like the river flowing, which will go out of and everywhere if it doesn't get the right direction and someone, you know, to support, because it's all about the flow. Vladimir, let's move to another question, which I think would be of interest, because we're all interested in meditation and spirituality and healing. Just a quick question to you. Do you have any favorite meditation of your own?
Oh yeah, I have several favorite meditation. Some of them are connected with breathing and breath work. Just watching breathing in any situation, it's my meditation, and hearing voice, since it's a kind of very good feedback about your state of and the flow of energy. So I used to train a long time ago to be present in my breathing and in my speech, kind of to feel the atmosphere of voice and different kind of space, shadows of voice. And also the same concerning breathing. And also there is a specific type of breathing meditation, like different pranayamas, or like holotropic breathwork, it's also meditation, or just Osho dynamic meditation, Kundalini meditation. So another favorite type of meditation is connected with my Dzogchen background. It's just being in what it is right now. That's all, nothing. Everything is just how it is. And so my spiritual teacher, Chogyal Namkhai Norbu, many years ago, gave me introduction into this state. And so, and also gave instructions that this is the most essential practice. And whenever you remember, you can go to this primordial state of Rigpa in Tibetan language. This is the most essential practice and a kind of primordial meditation. And it don't need any tools, any circumstances. So you can do it at any situation. So it's very simple and extremely useful. But also there is a lot of other types of meditation, like in Vipassana, walking, a kind of conscious communication, conscious eating, etc., etc. Mindfulness in everything you do. And so for me, meditation is very practical. I am not obsessed by some exotic types of meditation. Going to Kailash mountain, being in 1 week retreat there in dark cave, and reciting mantra of Padmasambhava. It's great, but for me, it's much more pleasure to meditate in everything I'm doing. A kind of, I am practical, and so for me, meditation is just practice of connecting to reality of what it is. And it's quite often that our mind, our thoughts, our limitations, both conceptual limitation and emotional limitation and energetic limitation and our different beliefs and values create a cage that prevents us from direct connection with reality, with being, with ourselves, with human beings. And this is why in many spiritual traditions, there is a kind of direct instruction about meditation as a tool for overcoming all those cage. First of all, cage of mind, thoughts, going beyond mind. So,
how do you overcome it? Because there was a question, when you're being fully present, what do you do with your thoughts, and what's your experience of what you are noticing? Because we are constantly judging, we are making conclusions and judgments every second moment.
Sure, but as mind mirror practitioner and expert in brainwave, you know very well that sometimes it's just enough to close your eyes. And so what you see on mind mirror, alpha rhythms, yeah, not just beta, but alpha rhythms, and maybe some theta. And if you just relax your mouth, yeah, and go deeper inside, vacant mind state, yeah. So you can go deeper. You automatically can go beyond thoughts into cosmos of your soul.
Yeah, just say we don't buy into thoughts. They will be there most likely, and just don't kind of buy and start playing with them. Just watch them as, some rubbish floating in the river. This is not you, just observe, okay? And focus on whatever is important. And I guess even what you said, focusing on your breathing, focusing on your voice, is, to me, also focusing on my senses, and sensory perception will help to extend alpha brainwaves, and it means open up the bridge between conscious and subconscious mind and helping you to go deeper. So I think it's all these practices, they're quite logical.
Alpha meditation is not final point in kind of accomplished meditation. It's middle point. And so then you had to start moving further, kind of detaching from sensory slavery. Since as living being, all living being on this planet are in cage of sensory perception. And so if we want to go deeper, we had to detach from sensory. We can go to extrasensory, to inner cosmos. And so we can reconnect to our true nature, which is infinite. So it means that we had to spend some time to discover this infinite source.
Vladimir, I would like to give an example from our holotropic breathwork workshops that I did with you, because I very clearly remember how it starts really when you are breathing in a special way, like it's more intensive than usual. So it's kind of pumping energy into you, and it starts with the body, always with body blocks. So I started, feeling tension here and there, and like pressure to move or do this or do that, release this kind of pressure and tension in the body. And then there is a moment in the session where I couldn't feel my body. I was kind of, it was there somewhere, but I didn't feel it anymore. It was like empty. And it was an amazing experience. And all I could see, it's just like the movie on my inner screen, very bright, very vivid, very realistic. And, doing it for the first time, you're really amazed. Oh, I can see these movies. I can go on these inner journeys. And yes, it is this sensation of like going beyond your body and beyond senses, where they don't distract you anymore. You kind of, they're there, but they don't distract. You go beyond that point. And amazing point is also when you kind of stop breathing. It's like, it's probably so shallow that my mind doesn't kind of fix the proper full in-breath and out-breath. And just for those, because I had other people asking, for those who would like to try holotropic breath, where do you go these days? I know that Grof has launched a new program recently.
Grof Legacy Training. You can type in Google Grof Legacy Training, and it direct you to a new website. And so it's much more than just holotropic breathwork. By the way, Grof now created another term for holotropic breathwork, since the present holotropic breathwork can trademark on holotropic breathwork from capital letters belong to other people who don't want to share this trademark with Stan Grof, who actually created this. So he was forced to create another trademark, just Grof breathwork. It's and holotropic breathwork with normal letters, not from capital letters. And your example with experience of your personal experience of holotropic breathwork is very moving and very, very exciting. When you told about these experiences of a kind, we are like watching film, in a sense. In normal, ordinary reality, we all used to live in home theater of our personal consciousness, so to say, and watch the film My Life. And in this film, we are main characters, main heroes, screenwriters, and film directors of this film, My Life. But experience of holotropic breath work can very naturally show us that this is not the only possibility. And every human being can have access to different version of this film, even to different channels and to different lives. So it means that we are not separate limited personalities, one wave receivers, but we all are universal receivers, which are able to get signals from all channels. And so this is very important. And it means it was confirmed in growth research and in multiple experiential assessments. And it means, first of all, that every human being can have unlimited experiences. So in session of holotropic breathwork, you can experience the life of whale, snake, aliens, the Mother Earth, mountains, Baikal Lake, all other people, yourself in the womb of your mother. So everything is possible to experience. And it means that the only difference between you, for example, and Mother Mary, you, Peter, and Buddha, you, Robert, for example, sorry, and for example, Shantarakshita or Christ, is that we as human beings used to have in cage, in limitations, but realized enlightenment beings live in an infinite dimension of spirit and soul, cosmos of spirit. So they are able to connect to everything without any limits. So, and this is why it's so important to have appropriate experiences of non-ordinary states of consciousness. And I have great respect to Stanislav Grof, my teacher, one of my great teachers, who kind of dedicated all his life, 65 years of research and conference and organizational work and experiential work to studies of non-ordinary states of consciousness and its meaning to humanity. So it's very, very encouraging, very important. And I'm sure that for every human being, this experience being understood in right context, not just as a fun. Yeah. Oh, kaif, I will experience something unusual, extreme, not in appropriate way, given the essence, given the keys about the source of all possible experience. It gives a very important insight about nature of ourself, our consciousness, and the nature of reality. It's very important for evolutioneers, for people who dedicate his life to ongoing development.
Vladimir, could you say that in some way we can look at holotropic breath work and these workshops? They are like mini shamanic journeys that are organized in a nice setup, safe, secure setup that gives you the structure, that gives you the direction, that gives you inner maps, that gives you the security and support that you might need to kind of release all your limitations, all your fears, and go beyond, kind of, so you can escape, but at the same time feeling safe and supported, because we have these limitations and boundaries because they basically, we feel that and we think that they support us, they help us to feel secure. These are my walls, they protect me. But then you have to drop them off and go and fly, and it's freedom might be scary. So I could see them as mini shamanic journeys, and I just want to link this to our next question, whether this is a part of these 12 ancient practices that you mentioned in our original interview, And maybe you could talk more about these 12 ancient psychotherapeutic practices, because we all are interested in healing and self-healing. And if this is possible, could you also talk about them, and while talking, give some examples from your practice or someone else's practice, really good, bright examples, like good cases, I mean, from a psychotherapeutic practice where you can see these ancient practices at work.
You're absolutely right in many ways. Comparing experience and atmosphere of holotropic breathwork sessions with shamanism and experience of ecstatic shamanic trance. Yeah. First of all, shamanism, it started 50,000 years ago and continued for 40,000 years. And even now, we can find acting shamans in many regions of the world. So it's the longest experience of humanity. So it's very deeply rooted in the very structure of our psyche, in our unconsciousness. And through shamanism, the most deep structure of our neuron system, our neural nets was created, since it was repeated for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. Then each of us can reach this deep state of inner shaman inside each of us. And one of my teachers, Arnold Mindell, used to say that when we are solving problem, at the same time, the ancient shaman, man and woman, manifested inside us. Since from this point of view, shamanism is an archetype of problem solving in every human being. There is no recipes, no replies, and like in ancient time, in shamanic experience. The third, shamanism is connected with trance, with ecstatic experience. Mircea Eliade named his book Shamanism, Archaic Technology of Ecstasy. And so archaic means ancient, yeah, and ecstasy means overcoming stasis, cage, yeah. So going beyond all that creates stage. And so what is the meaning of this trance, of this going beyond? The meaning is to get rid from sensory reality, normal perception, and go into shamanic world of spirits. You know, in shamanic trance experience, everything, not only living being, like animals, insects, snakes, human being, has the spirit, but also everything, trees, grass, stones, lakes, the Mother Earth, universe, everything has its own unique spirit. And going beyond normal human limitation in trance states, in spirit universe, the spirit of shaman can communicate directly with spirits of everybody and everything, and make connections and unions, and ask for help, for example, different spirits in human affairs, find lost things or animals, etc., etc. I'll give an example from my own experience working with different shamans. I used to work with shamans with Northern American shamans, with Peruvian shamans, with a lot of Siberian shamans. I studied a lot of shamanism. And so several years ago, I participated in international shamanic conferences in Moscow. And so several very powerful, practical Siberian shaman was invited to this scientific conference to demonstrate shamanic skills and technologies, etc., etc. And going in the break between scientific meetings, in the forest. It was in the Moscow countryside on sanatorium conference. I heard the sound of drum, and I went to the source of sound, and I've seen shaman woman in trance making ceremony for 8 people. And I asked silently permission to join, get permission. And so I was with them, and it was short ceremony, only 15 minutes. And after the ceremony, this shaman woman started to tell directly to every participant, to each participant, you are from this family. This is your destiny. This is your obstacles. This is the best way how to overcome. So he said in very kind of articulated and direct way to every participant, including me and my wife. I was just shocked by a kind of clarity and clear nature of appropriate, since it was addressed to me, to my wife, and to 2 other people whom I knew personally for a long time. So I was able to understand that it was really very direct for so short time. And then I, after ceremony, I asked her, how you've learned about these hidden details? And she replied, oh, it's very simple. My spirits show and tell me everything about you. How they tell you and how they show you? Oh, very simple, like radio and television, she replied. And so I understood from this experience that for realized shaman, connecting with spirits is as simple as for normal people to watch television and to hear radio. And so I understood that shamanism and connecting with spirits is a real direct experience for realized practical shamans. And so
we all have a choice whether to switch on television or radio or go inside, switch on the spirits and watch another program. And it's like very popular now. If you can't go outside, go inside, you know, this slogan in coronavirus times.
Yeah. But my preference is kind of half 50-50, half to inside and half to outside. I prefer to be real in both dimensions.
I guess this is the formula.
Just go inside or just go completely outside.
Yeah, this is the formula of being fully present to me. So when you're 50% outside, but you're fully aware of, you know, your body, your presence, why you are here, and 50% of inside, and you're fully aware what's going on inside of you. Okay, can we go back to 12 practices? And could you name them so we can clearly understand what they are and give us the examples and cases?
Kind of the 12 practices of so-called primordial psychotherapy used to come to me for a long time, actually for almost 30 years. You know, from kind of the age of 20, I started to interested in modern psychology, psychotherapy, psychiatrist. I've read a lot of books and a lot of books on philosophy. And so I used to ask myself, what is the essence of psychotherapy? How to be a kind of good psychotherapist? Is it possible to be a psychotherapist for yourself? What is the secret of ancient practices of the care of the soul? And the most crucial question was, what was psychotherapy before psychotherapy? It means before Freud and Breuer in the late 19th century. That modern psychotherapy started from work by Sigmund Freud on psychoanalysis, first version of deep psychology. And so how for thousands of years people has taken care about souls, solve problems, found pathways to happiness, etc., etc. So I ask myself, read book, attended at masterclass and seminars of great psychotherapists trying to get the secret. And sometimes I was lucky to get some direct replies on my nasty questions, since I was young, kind of egoistic, and I wanted questions, understanding, replies. I attacked actually great psychotherapists demanding replies. But slowly I started to get replies from inside, from experience. And it took actually around 20 years to get a kind of more or less complete picture about 12 ancient practices of the care of the soul, which are common to all humanity, to all cultures, to all continents. And in essence, those 12 ancient practices of the care of the soul are also the basement of all modern psychotherapy. And what is also very important, ancient practices of the care of the soul, they are undivided from the very structure and nature of our inner space, since they developed harmonically or through thousands of years. And the only reason for development and for transmission to next generation was their efficiency. They just worked. It was enough to develop, to study, to transmit them in a very natural way, connected with everyday life, so to say. I'll give you several examples of what are those 12 ancient practices. First practice, of course, is shamanic psychotherapy. And so ancient shamans helped people of tribe to reconnect with the world of spirit, of living earth, for example. If, for example, people from tribe lost their spirit, all connection with nature, they may get sick. And so shamans reconnected and returned back lost spirits and asked spirits for resources to heal the people. And also it's very important that for shamanic rituals, the main kind of, it's widespread in every shamanic culture, the main instrument, the main tools is shamanic drum. There are different types of drums, but there is a drum and drum rhythm, beats, boom, 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 boom. And it's from 120 to 160 beats per minute. And it exactly the same beats as heartbeat of human fetus in the womb. Exactly the same. And from modern understanding, it means that shamanic drum also is the anchor to our womb experience. So when we are hearing drum, part of us are in the womb at the same time, in the experience of undivided unity with our mothers. And it's a very healing experience. Also, we know how shamanic psychotherapy is manifested in our everyday life. For example, going to nature, going to wilderness, to forests, taking care about flowers, for example, in our garden. It's also reconnected with living nature, with shamanic spirits. Also our pets, different animals, also cartoons for children and elders. Cartoons. In cartoons, like in shamanic spirit world, every has its voice. Rivers, every animals can speak to us. and it's create a kind of unified field of all beings. It's very healing. It's reconnect our connection with everything. And the main reason for different diseases is loss of this connection, different connections. And also trance dance, raves, it's also a kind of mass experience of shamanic rituals in modern world.
Modern drums.
So we can, yeah, and so if you want to use a kind of discoveries and profits, so to say, of shamanic therapy, you can just use all this stuff in more conscious way. And also advise some people, if you feel that maybe they lose some natural connection with big picture, big life. So, the second type of primordial psychotherapy is, of course, pagan psychotherapy. It's almost 10,000 years of human history till present. And the main difference between paganism and shamanism is in qualification of upper world. In shamanism, it's world of upper spirits and healers. In paganism, in the world of gods, perfect beings. And for example, in Greek culture, there was thousands of different high beings and gods. I have complete maps of world religions and of different cultures. For example, let me show you one of the world. I change background. Yes, this is world of world religions. 3 of world religions. You see how many different religions. It means that how many different types of paganism with subtle difference, different gods families in different continents, countries, in different times of human history. And for us as human being, for example, if ancient Greeks, Zeus, Aphrodite, Apollon are also sample of human affairs in our everyday life. We can use them as a sample of our roles we play. And in a pagan world, there is 1,000 such perfect samples for every possible situation of our life. Yeah. So, and in pagan psychotherapy, we are healed through re-establishing our connection with supreme source of God's family, so to say. Usually it was done in ancient cultures in special sanctuaries, temples, a kind of places of power, portals to God worlds. And through different rituals, structuring human energy like lasers to connect upper realms and to send signals. So it was a kind of ancient technologies for reconnecting with supreme sources, supreme resources, much more than any human resources. And it was very healing. The essence of pagan psychotherapy is reconnecting with supreme sources, multiple supreme sources. Then, of course, we have multiple different types of psychotherapies connected to main world religions and different religions and cults and sects, etc., etc.
May I stop you here? Like, what's the application of this pagan psychotherapy these days? Give like one short example so it's clear.
It's very simple.
Yes.
For example, pilgrimage to India. As we know, millions and millions of people every year used to go to India. And sometimes they just don't aware for what reason. They think just for fun or for some recreation experience in Kerala somewhere. But in essence, our pilgrimage to East, to India, is connected, kind of directed to our deep necessity to reconnect with pagan world. For example, for Western people living in the world of mainly in monotheistic religion, Christianity and Judaism, there is one God and one human being. One God is a sample of all our behavior. And now we live in crisis. We know that modernism was a kind of break in postmodernism, and postmodernism is now breaking further to new reality, a kind of world community. And when we need a pagan resource, we used to go to India. Another important form of shamanic psychotherapy is the Lord of the Ring movie and other movies like this. Great Tolkien message to the world, reconnected all us to our pagan roots, since we need these roots and these resources in our life for our time, for solving our problem. And this is also the type of pagan psychotherapy through Marvel films about different pagan cultures, gods, heroes, journeys, etc., etc. And also folk tradition. In Russia, for example, a lot of ancient Slavic festivals and folk musics. For example, Celtic folklore, yeah, in Europe. It's also reconnect us to the world of paganism and its resources. It's a living connection. It's very important. It means that we can get to the resources of this world and to be healed. Also, we can speak further about different types of psychotherapy connected with world religions. In Buddhist psychotherapy, and Christian psychotherapy, and Sufi psychotherapy, and for sure for Jana Sredin was great psychotherapist. Yeah? Through joke, through his sense of humor and awareness, and of course there is a great teachers and saints who are really great psychotherapists. And I myself felt many times this kind of privilege and bliss to be healed through connection with great spiritual teachers. I'll just share one story about my first meeting with His Holiness Dalai Lama XIV in 1982. I was young student of postgraduate studies in philosophy in Institute of Philosophy, Soviet Academy of Science. It was Soviet Union at this time still. And I went for a week to Buryatia. It's near Baikal Lake, Ulan-Ude, capital of Buryatia, to study real Buddhism, since Buryatia was during Soviet times the only place where was Buddhist temple, living Buddhist temple and Buddhist teachers. And so, and it happens, I didn't know about this in advance, that exactly at this time, His Holiness Dalai Lama came to Ulan-Ude, to Buryatia, to give teachings. And so, you know, I remember very well my first meeting with Dalai Lama. It was evening. With my friend, we came to Buddhist monastery, and Dalai Lama came a little bit later at this time. And immediately he started to go through the circle of his guardians to people who were waiting for him, greeting him, laughing. And it was mainly Buryat people. local people. And me and my friend, we were European-like people. And so we were in a distance behind the circle of kind of close. And so I was young and I just shaking my hand to His Holiness. And His Holiness shake his hand and laughing to me back. And I was amazed. Me, I didn't believe. It's not possible. I am normal human being and he is the chief, the main great Tibetan teacher. I didn't believe. I asked him silently, me? And he laughed even more. Yes, yes, you. And I felt exactly at the same time that some wall was melt between me and His Holiness. And this wall was made by my unconsciousness, by my expectation, and by my belief that I am normal human being and he is great enlightened human being somewhere on the very top of enlightenment mountain. So great distance. And in 1 second, His Holiness just melted this wall. And I started to feel connection, real human connection to him. And it was extremely helpful for the next 3 days when he gave traditional teaching of White Tara, Manjushri, and Avalokiteshvara. There was several other great stories, but I don't think that we have time for details. And all of them were connected with spiritual healings, and I've got from many spiritual teachers whom I met in my life. So then, of course, we have next types of primordial psychotherapy, and some of them are very vague, very unclear, very a kind of not very good articulated or expressed, but at the same time very real, very natural to our life. And I just share one more story about third type of primordial psychotherapy, a kind of state of goodness. Everything is goodness, a kind of name of this type of psychotherapy. And you know, I've got first revelation about this type of psychotherapy from very famous Gestalt master Anna Simkin. She and husband John Simkin was direct student by Fritz Perls, the founder of Gestalt. And so they worked with him at SLN Institute. And after decision of Fritz Perls, they continued Gestalt work at SLM. And so we met with Anna Simkin on the conference in Findhorn Foundation in Great Britain, Psyche and Soul, in 1989. And so I was amazed by her master class. She worked with young guy and she was so productive, so helpful and so careful. It was absolutely new experience for me in the qualification and the level of mastery. And so I approach her with my stupid questions about nature of psychotherapy and got invitation for lunch from her to spend some time together and to work. And it was the time of Gorbachev, perestroika, democracy, glasnost, and I had a sweater with these 3 words made by my wife. And so she was also interested to connect with people from Soviet Union. And so we had a talk about life, about psychotherapy, and of course I attacked her. Young, nasty guy with stupid questions about mastery of psychotherapy, the source of psychotherapy, results, etc., etc. And she looked at me in a nice humor way and then replied, you know, Vladimir, good psychotherapist is old Jewish grandmother. And she looked at me in strange, miraculous way. Actually, she herself was this old Jewish grandmother with nose, gray hairs, very caring. And since my first wife was also Jewish, I knew the life and Jewish grandmothers, and I have a lot of Jewish relatives, very good connections. A little bit later, I personally met Stan and Christina Grof first time in Moscow. And so I started to understand that some real accomplished psychotherapists have a gift to be connected with the primordial goodness, the natural goodness. And so they naturally transmit this goodness to everybody. And when you approach them, when you connect them, you are in an atmosphere of this goodness. And since we are looking psychotherapists to make our life better, to be more happy, exactly in this field, we are in the present state of goodness. Right now, you know, it happens. I started to see this gift in some great psychotherapists who are connected with the goodness. Everybody can develop this qualification in her or in himself. First of all, through spiritual practices, since the primordial state of all human beings have the same qualification, kind of primordial relaxation, primordial goodness. And for example, Kuntu Zampo in Tibetan, it's the name of Adi Buddha, primordial Buddha. And Tibetan translated Adi Buddha on Sanskrit, primordial Buddha, as Kuntu Zampo on Tibetan language. Kuntu Zampo literally means everything is good. So it's direct pointing to realization. So through goodness, through discovering goodness, natural state, we can also be spiritually enlightened. On normal human level, I found that some people, for example, great artists, have natural gift to transmit, to spread this state of goodness. And so they used to be my personal psychotherapist, even without knowing that I am using them as psychotherapist. For example, one of my favorite singers is Bobby McFerrin. I have all his records, and he gave performances in Moscow 3 times. And of course, I and my family always attended at these performances. And at his concerts, he just transmit in a very natural, in very real way, his state of playful child, of great spirits, encouraging people, supporting, sharing. So in many ways, a kind of spreading goodness. And another, my personal psychotherapist is Indian artist Ritik Roshan. So I like his movies. He's so natural, so human, and such great gift of goodness. And recently I watched the last serial of Wachowski, Sense8. And I found the same quality of goodness in these films. 24 episodes, I watched them, and so I was filled by love, by friendliness, by honesty, high humanity, kind of awareness. So it's, I'm sure that many great artists at the same time are also great psychotherapists for humanity. Psychotherapy is not limited by professional psychotherapy, by schools of psychotherapy. It's much, much more. And so I'll give you the final, maybe the final map, 12 types of primordial psychotherapy: shamanic psychotherapy, pagan psychotherapy, psychotherapy as everything is good. So it means relaxation, well-being, happiness, joyfulness, humor. And you can see the names of great teachers: Lonchenpa, Primordial Buddha, and Anna Simkin. Then psychotherapy as hero's journey. And this is also very, very important type of psychotherapy, to be a hero, to be able to overcome all cage, all difficulties. Since heroism, as I told you, is the main energy of human life. Then psychotherapy through breath work, different type of breath work. I use the term pneumosynthesis for to name this type of psychotherapy. Then psychotherapy as alchemy. It means the power of transformation, transfiguration, metamorphosis. For example, Eleusinian mysteries, which were happened for 1500 years in ancient Greeks. Then psychotherapy as magic theater of consciousness. The 8th type of psychotherapy is dealing with communication, with restoration of so-called communicative fabric of consciousness. Its symbol is Mercury, the messenger of God. And so I am also referring to the all modern teaching about mass media, communications, etc., and languages. The 3rd line is psychotherapy is psychotherapeutic time machine. In many psychotherapeutic sessions, we are using indirectly with metaphors, a kind of going back into our life and to different times. Then psychotherapy is healing and uniting. So it's a kind of assembling everything. It's a holotropic approach. And it's Advaita Vedanta, it's growth holotropic psychotherapy, it's different integral approaches. Then psychotherapy as process, as stream, as flow. It's, of course, Taoism, Whitehead, Mindel, Seth Mihai, etc., etc. And then 12th way of methods of primordial psychotherapy is awakening from dreams, going from matrix. So, I'm explaining this type of psychotherapy on the base of Jorge Luis Borges' works, Brother Wachowski's, and many other sources. So, this list of 12 primordial types of psychotherapy, it's just an example. It's not complete list. And everybody can complement and develop it further. It's just a sample of what is possible. You know, I discovered that the ways of healing are infinite as the pathways of God. So it's not possible to limit and to reduce the tracks for healing to some sets of methods. So I found that these 12 methods was chosen by humanity through a long period of time. And I checked them working with my client for many years. I used to teach those methods to my students, and it works. So why not it's very easy to study them no needs to spend 5 years in some particular psychotherapeutic modality, and then spend 5 more years to get rid from a cage of this modality, to be finally real psychotherapist. You can from the very beginning be free, be flexible, be natural, be real, and study natural ways of care of the soul, primordial psychotherapy, and became your own psychotherapist. We know that psychotherapy is very important. Not actually psychotherapy as profession, psychotherapy as some action, but psychotherapy as releasing human being from obstacles for development, for creativity. We all have obstacles. We all have traumas of birth, of childhood, of early children, of schools, of adolescence, of middle age, of old age. We all have multiple problems and connections and tensions. And those tensions and obstacles prevents us from becoming enlightenment, from becoming mature human being, from manifesting our potential. So some type or even different types of psychotherapy is very important for all human beings. And my idea was to find the way to empower all human beings in safe and proved methods of helping yourself and taking care about yourself. So this is, sorry for not a short story.
Vladimir, I have a short question, but I know that probably your documentary Tools for Evolution will be the best one to answer this question. But as the kind of final rounding up of today's conversation, could you name the best tools to focus on for evolution and try to make them more practical so we can take them with us into everyday life?
In my course, Tools for Evolution, I presented 3 main catalyzers of evolution. It's honesty, it's feedback, flexibility, and also it's a kind of compassion to everything, to yourself, to human being, a kind of human-friendly attitudes. It's a kind of discovered and proved and checked by all humanity, the best helpers for our evolution. And also there exist different specific evolutionary tools in every from 6 primordial dimensions of human being. So according to modern understanding, at least, we have, by the way, I am presenting all those tools and catalyzers and dimensions in my film, Tools for Evolution. And so it's a kind of artistic presentation of my discoveries, ideas, and my kind of more professional scientific courses in more flexible kind of spiritual and artistic way. For example, for personal development, the main tools for evolution is differentiate. Differentiate, 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 differentiate. Since it's connected with the very obvious fact of how our perception is working. For example, if inside me there is only black and white, 2 shades, only black or white, I used to see everything, all human being, all situation, either black or white. If I have 10 shades for love, for example, I can see not only in myself and feel, but also in other human beings, 10 shades of love. If I have 1,000 shades of love or happiness, I can perceive, I can recognize 1,000 shades in everything. So it's main vector of personal development. Differentiate, differentiate, and differentiate. And actually, what is happening with us when we study any subject is that we are differentiated our inner states, connecting with different situations, with different handbooks, with different courses. But what is happening inside, differentiating, and differentiated. And after that, we can watch this new universe in everything, since we are projecting our inner space on everything, on all human beings, on all situations. And if, for example, we were able to reach infinite space inside us, it means that we see infinite space in every human being, in every situation, in every conflict, infinite ways to solving, infinite possibilities for everything. It's a kind of technical metaphor for enlightenment.
You invent that.
Thank you, Vladimir. I remember like one of my biggest insights, again, during your workshops was that you said that every question has an answer, every problem has its solution. Keep the outlook positive so that you remember, yes, if there is an answer, you have to come down and just look for the answer. Just relax and find the answer because it's there somewhere. You just have to see it. And that changed my outlook at things. Instead of worrying and panicking, okay, I remember Vladimir said, I have the answers somewhere, so I just need to find them or let them even come to me. It immediately makes you more positive, more constructive, more capable.
We can find the same approach in all great spiritual tradition, and now even in business folk. For example, there is so-called U theory by Otto Scharmer. It's a kind of, it's becoming now very popular in business circle, since it's really helped to solve the most actual business problem in organization, developing, overcoming conflicts, etc., etc. But it's based also on this inner walking with yourself. Yeah, going inside, going deep, and from this a kind of differentiated deepness in ourselves as human being, as team, as corporation, came replies.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. I can summarize the whole thing. For me, I like the word perspective because I think the whole awakened mind work and whatever we are talking about and psychotherapy and healing, in some ways, it's always about like shifting your perspective and like whether you're embracing more shades and colors and forms and but you're always just expanding. And yeah, it is like zooming out and seeing being picture and being able to embrace more and more and more. And in your words, I guess that would be become more and more real as well. Because you kind of come closer and closer and see the reality better and more adequate way, you know, more realistically, if you like.
Thank you to Vladimir for expanding his heart to us for nearly 2 hours. It's just been totally brilliant, and so much experience and know-how, you know, being expressed from the other side of the world. Seems so close.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Your movies are on Vimeo, right?
Yes. Oksana will share links with 3 my movies, Dance of Infinity, Tools for Exploration, and the last one, The Secret of Carlos Castaneda.
All right. Thank you.
And for those, I think, Gilberto, you asked that if Vladimir will teach anything in English. So yes, in 2000, like next year, as I know, there are plans to start online courses in English. And I just shared the outline and I placed also the link under his biography at a glance. So if you scroll down at the bottom of it, there will be links to his Russian websites, but also a quick outline that even, I can tell you, even the outline of these courses will give you kind of the structure of evolutionary tools and what we've been talking about. So even just looking through that may help you to navigate what we learned today, you know, and kind of reconnect and learn more. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Robert, for making it. I hope you learned something new. I know we all know a lot, but it's always good to get some different perspective, even about the things we've already known. But it's always good to expand. Yeah? Sorry?
Very true. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Robert. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. And maybe it's not our last meeting. We could do another one. And I'm sure Vladimir would appreciate any feedback on his documentaries, because I can tell you they're absolutely beautiful. It's like, it's aesthetically pleasing to watch them because of views of nature and landscapes and absolutely beautiful people. I mean, each of them is a master, that's obvious, but they're such beautiful souls, you know, how they say what they say. And I mean, Vladimir managed to put it all together into one film. So it's super inspiring and super soothing. You know, for my soul, it was perfect, perfect meal for my soul. I'll put it this way. Okay, thank you very much, and hope we'll see each other some other time.
And thank you, Oksana, for organizing it and hosting it. And it's your enthusiasm that pulled me here.
Thank you. Thank you.